Hello, 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 sellers. It's Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in. We are going to talk about the green power of eBay selling, and we're talking this green, and we're also talking about recycling and repurposing and how it works for you as a seller, a new seller, and for my more experienced sellers. So come on in and let's get talking about the green. So I'm Kathy Terrill. I love to be selling, and we're talking about green for eBay selling. If you're not aware of this, and eBay does talk about it, and it's certainly true for other sites too, is literally thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of items are sold on eBay and other sites, keeping them out of landfills. And it is very, very green. We're talking about recycled items. We're talking about used items that still have plenty of life in them. We're also talking about items that aren't selling well in certain retail areas. This has happened for me where, an item may not be selling well in New York City, so it's going clearance. And sometimes I've seen stores too, like when they're moving where things just get trashed, they're putting things on the curb. And what's wonderful as a seller is I'm able to grab those things and keep them from going into landfills and keep them from going into the garbage trucks and reselling them on eBay. This has actually happened to me with toner cartridges. This is a couple of years ago where an office was clearly moving. And for whatever reason, not sure why, they weren't selling the items. They didn't donate it to a thrift store or anything. They literally had a pile, and I mean a pile of toner cartridges on the curb, and they were sealed and they were new and they were just throwing them out. Well, I grabbed them. So there's green like that where you're literally saving things because for whatever reason, somebody's in a hurry or a rush and they're not donating them. Or taking them to some kind of recycling center and literally abandoning items that would go in the trash. And you as a seller, and there is nothing wrong with the item, and you as a seller are able to grab that and sell it on eBay and the other sites. So there's that part of green. There's the other thing with green, which is recycling items and using them for shipping, which is what I wanted to talk about first, particularly for our newer sellers, is boxes are very easy to get for the most part, to be able to use for shipping. And the easiest way to do something like that is to go to local businesses. They're very glad to give them to you because it saves them from having to recycle them. My local post office, because people have PO boxes, there's an area where literally people are allowed to abandon their boxes after they open them because they're picking up items. And literally there's a pile of empty boxes and I can go there, just with my scissors and a nice IKEA bag and just flatten them, throw them in the bag, and I bring them home. So I was going to say too, for my newer sellers, when you're listing, think about how you're going to ship the item. A big problem that newer sellers will run into is they will list items without thinking how they're going to ship the item. And whatever your items are, you do want to have boxes and poly mailers and things on hand that you can ship with. And boxes are very, very easy for the most part to get from local businesses. Again, you're looking for clean and nice. You don't want to be recycling and repurposing boxes that have stains on them, a lot of dirt. You want a nice, clean box that you're recycling and repurposing. Nobody wants to receive a package in a dirty box, okay? So look for nice, clean boxes. Look for ones that don't have stains, and you can repurpose and reuse them. The other thing that I repurpose and reuse a lot that I also find at my post office where people are abandoning their packages, and also for myself, because I shop online a lot, is the air pillows. And I literally keep, I have like a bin on the floor behind me that I keep my air pillows in. Air pillows are great for shipping all kinds of things. They're so light. They're adding like no weight to the item, which is going to save postage, either for your buyer or for you or for both. So I literally keep a bin of air pillows on hand to use. And these are, again, very easy to find. Local businesses will give them to you. Bubble wrap, but at least for me here in New York, the air pillows are like the big thing. They're super easy to find. And I literally keep a bin. So that's another thing for you with repurposing and recycling and being green, is figuring out how you're going to store it. Many people with the boxes, they flatten them. Some people, they're labeling on the end that's going to tuck in so they know the size, so they can go right down the line. They know the size of the box. I was reading one seller, they keep them stored in a bicycle rack, which I think is wild. And again, in order. So again, from smaller to larger. Some people are stacking them horizontally, again, smaller to larger. So you think through your physical space and figure out the best way for you to store them. Mine are stored horizontally and they're on the floor. I don't elevate things off the floor because I'm in the 3rd floor of a building. So it's very unlikely that I would get any kind of flooding or anything. And the air pillows, I literally have like big bins, and I keep one bin just full of air pillows. Again, another way to be green. It's saving you money and your buyers money to be green and to be recycling and to be repurposing. Another thing I wanted to bring up as far as being green and recycling and repurposing is for your home office needs. And this is one sometimes sellers forget, which is whether your eBay office is a corner of your living room or your bedroom, or your kitchen, or whether you have an eBay room. I have an eBay room. Is what's in it. Because a lot of the items that you put into your eBay room can be recycled and repurposed. And again, being green. So your office is a green office. It's saving you money. And also that you are repurposing items that you find as you're thrifting, shopping, consigning, or here in New York City, oftentimes I'll see things that are just abandoned, again, because people are moving. Offices are moving, and they will just leave certain things behind. I've got a rolling trolley to my right, which I love. And my poly mailers are in it, my labels, like pens. It's got 5 or 6 drawers and then a flat on top. So my laptop is on top. And then the pull-out drawers, I have the different size mailers that I use, from small to large. And I have clear bags that I use that I put items into and seal to protect. So I've got a rolling trolley. It was abandoned on my curb. Nothing wrong with it. Clean, great. I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'm definitely grabbing this. So keep an eye out for things like shelving units, again, like the rolling trolley. And again, sometimes when people are moving, yard sale, it might be the free item or very low cost. I haven't priced it recently, but last time I was looking, it's like, $30, $40 for it. And the other thing that was great about it is because you can see it, oftentimes when you're ordering things, you're not quite sure of the quality. I mean, it's really sturdy. It's great. I've had it, gosh, for 5 or 6 years. I mean, totally love it. Free cycle, which I use from my office. So I'm not using, because sometimes with free cycle, people say they don't want you to resell it. And I always respect that. But free cycle, actually this really cute, I'll show you, cute little fan that I have, because she no longer used them and they go on USB ports, and I keep nice and cool, and didn't have to buy it, kept it out of the landfill. She was done with it. I've got it in my office. So again, that, desk lamps, I'm trying to think what else. My actual desk, I've had for years. It's a butcher block table. And one of my neighbors was moving. I'm in an apartment building in New York City, and I bought it off my neighbor. So yes, I purchased it, but it's refurbished, recycled, reused. It wasn't brand new, but in gorgeous shape, because she didn't want to move with it. Angela's saying tons of people coming from New York to Florida. Yes, always so many people moving. So look at your office and keep an eye out. Desk lamps, okay? My computer, I have a PC. I bought refurbished. I bought a refurbished computer. It's great. My laptop's refurbished and bought off eBay. So to keep an eye out for that, which is when you need things like a laptop, like a monitor, like a printer, is yes, absolutely. If it's something that you really feel strongly about, that must be new, but consider buying refurbished, used, and eBay is great for this. You get some terrific buys, again, on just about everything you can possibly think of for your office. And then I have really found for storage items, again, being in New York, we've got a lot of different kinds of small businesses. Some are, they're upgrading. So the things they have are fine. They just want a different look. And again, all those storage things. I've got one friend that's got a pegboard, and she uses that for storing her mugs because she wants the mugs all on a pegboard. Got the pegboard for free. Again, somebody was moving. Shelving units are very often you can pick up really nice ones. Again, used, people are moving, abandoned at the curb, keep an eye out for all those kind of things. Because one thing as sellers we always need is more shelving. So keep an eye out for that. For shelving, hangers. I've got 2 closets that I have clothing that I sell on hangers. All the hangers were got, again, people moving or just getting rid of a certain amount of hangers, and they're nice. They're the thicker plastic ones so that you don't get dimples, in the shirts and the dresses. So keep an eye out for those things. My boxes, my USPS priority mail, the free mailing supplies that you get from USPS, I have regional A, 2 sizes, medium flat rate, 2 sizes, the small flat rate box. Then I have what's called the shoebox size. And then there was one other size. Oh, it's like a small boxy box, like a cube. And I have them in order of size on the floor in the closet to my right. And the way I organize them is the big plastic tops to the bins, because my bins, I don't need to close them on top. I actually prefer them being open because then they're easier for me to get into. And things sell fast enough, nothing's getting dirty, which is great. So I have my boxes organized with the lids of the bins. I have them turned on their side, and I put labels on them. So it says regional A, medium, flat rate. So I can just go right to the closet. I know exactly what size box I have. So again, you can look around and go, okay, I'm not using that. Is there a way I could use it? That shelf, that storage unit, that lid that I no longer need for that bin. Is there somewhere else I can use it? And this is what's great just about sort of look at your space. And everybody's space is different. Some people have a lot of horizontal storage space. Some people have a lot of vertical storage space. Some people are able to do a lot of shelving units and bins. Other people have a lot of closet space. Rolling racks are another one as far as being green and recycling and repurposing. I know a lot of sellers that love rolling racks. So on the rack, you're hanging the clothes that either are already listed, or you're racking them because you're going to be photographing them, or you're racking them to prepare them for research. Okay, but rolling racks are great because, again, you can move them around. So I'm photographing it. Now I'm putting it over into storage. And some of my clothes I have racked by size. So once it's listed, it's racked. And I actually have those plastic things like in the department store with the sizes on it on the rack. So then it's racked by size 10, 12, 14, small, medium, large, that kind of thing. So always thinking about when you're being green, it's yes, we're making sales, but also what do I have on hand? What do I have, or what can I access? And we all live in different parts of the country, so it's going to be different. And we all have access to different stores and different sources of inventory, also different sources of shipping supplies. But with the access that I have of items that I can get for free or for low cost, how can I best use them? What's going to work for me? Again, one seller will have tons of wall space. I don't have tons of wall space, but I've got windows, and in the windows, they're big bay windows. I put shelves and stored things on the shelves that are okay to be in indirect light. So it's always about, what do I have? What can I use that I have? And then what's going to be best for my items. And then when you do need to spend money on something, so I do need to buy the printer, I do need to buy the computer or whatever it is, what's the best value for me? I know some people only want to buy new, and that's fine, but take a look at the refurbished. Take a look at the used, because you can get great value and it's green. And the other thing as far as sourcing, and this will depend where you live in the United States and in the world, is they are great items to source to resell. So if you're able to do things like office cleanouts, and some offices will literally just give you an entire office full of electronics if you'll agree to take everything, is that you take everything, then you're able to take the items and sell on eBay what you're able to sell, and then the rest of the items recycle, get rid of them in an appropriate fashion. I know several sellers that source that way and do very, very well. Again, why? Because the printers sell, because computers sell, because laptops sell, because monitors sell. And it's a very, very, very lucrative category on eBay. So keep an eye out for that if that's something that appeals to you. But all of these things is a great way to be green on eBay, right? So we're making money, but the other thing is to be saving money and saving things from the landfill. And right now, because it is right at the end of March and we're going into April, if you're not aware of this, right now is prime time on eBay for Mother's Day shoppers. So speaking of green, people are pulling out their wallets and they're going shopping for mom. And the thing to think about with Mother's Day, because we're talking about recycling and repurposing, is people's attitudes about used items has changed. Again, I think years ago, if you gave somebody a used item, it would be tough oftentimes for gifts unless it's a collectible, unique item, okay, a vintage item. But that's really changed. I mean, I'm thinking of one cousin of mine who's a real fashionista. I mean, she loves clothes, and she would be fine about receiving a gift of a used clothing items because she very much is committed to keeping things out of landfill. This can be true also for items like books, but even like power tools, clothing. I mean, there's a huge array of items now that is very much acceptable to be received as gifts. Again, know who you're giving to. But Mother's Day, besides recycling and repurposing and reusing, also the new with tags items. I worked brick and mortar retail here in New York City for over 15 years. So I'm very aware of the selling seasons, also appealing to different shoppers, appealing to different buyers. And the thing with Mother's Day is that you may think of it because of gifts that you would receive as a mom or gifts that you would give as a mom. I'm going to use my mother as an example. My mother never wanted kitchen items as a gift. Her attitude was she knew exactly what she wanted in her kitchen, so she did not want kitchen items as a gift. She's like, no. She wanted personal items as a gift for Mother's Day or for her birthday. So she liked clothing. She liked perfume. She liked jewelry. She liked spa items. She would have not have been happy with baking pans or an appliance, which somebody else might be totally thrilled with getting that kind of thing. So sometimes when we're approaching Mother's Day, we'll be thinking about the gifts that we would give to our mom, or gifts, if we're moms, that we would like to receive as a mom. And what we forget is that moms are just a huge array, and that all different kinds of moms like to receive all different kinds of items. And it is a huge retail moment online, and that many, many sellers have items that are suitable for Mother's Day gift giving, but they don't realize it because it's not the kind of gift that they would give to their mom or they would look to receive as a mom. So what I've done is I've put together a free guide for you. If you hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and look for what sells on eBay for Mother's Day free guide. It is 12 pages of product ideas, and it's just to get like the creative juices flowing, because again, you might think like, oh, Mother's Day is clothing, or oh, Mother's Day is kitchen appliances, and you might forget there's literally dozens and dozens of categories, and I have pages and pages of items just to get you thinking, just to get creative juices flowing. And I will bet my bottom dollar that there's items that you have either listed that you haven't thought about as Mother's Day items, or unlisted. And with this guide, and it's completely free, just hop over to my website and grab it. With this guide, you will look at your unlisted inventory and go, oh my goodness, that is the greatest Mother's Day item, and get it listed. And you'll get those cha-chings coming. You'll get those sales coming. So be green. Always be thinking outside the box for wonderful free shipping supplies that you can use and repurpose, but make sure they're clean and nice. Also green as far as things that you might need for your office, organization, setting up your desk, your printers that you can find on eBay, and also find as you're shopping at thrift stores, consignment stores, retail stores. I've gotten some terrific stuff from my office that was on clearance in regular retail stores. And then don't forget Mom coming up, because again, this is a massive retail moment. Really great way to get some extra sales, and download my free guide, what sells on eBay for Mother's Day. So that the items, again, if you've got some unlisted inventory, you can just look at it quickly and go, oh, this is perfect. I've got to get this listed. And you get those cha-chings coming. Okay, great, everybody. Bye-bye. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling.